What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Andre King coming at you today. And if you've ever struggled with understanding Git, or if you're just getting started and you actually want to see how the pieces fit together, then this is the perfect video for you, because I'm not going to get into any of the fluff, the background history, etc. We're just going to actually hop into the shell, and we've got Git installed already, and I'm going to explain it all to you. So by the end of the video, you're going to be alright. So if you're ready, let's get it. So again, Git as a version control system is going to help us here on the individual side, our local repository. So let's go ahead and create a folder. So we're going to call this Git practice, and then let's go ahead and cd right on into that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so again, this is a brand new directory, so we shouldn't have any files here just hidden. So the very first thing we need to do is actually run the command git init to basically initialize this empty repository, as you can see there. And if we run that same command again, we see here the hidden folder, Git folder, that's going to track various things. And as a version control system, every file that we're going to add here going forward, you're going to see a few examples of what that really means. So one of the first things that we need to do is set our username and our user email, and that's going to come in handy here in just a few steps, and you're going to see why. So we need to do a git config, and we will do user.name, and I'll just type just do Dreday 2K for now, and then we'll do the same user.email, and we'll do Dreday2k at example.com. Alright, there we go. Perfect. And if we want to see and make sure that we have it, just do a git config -- git user.name, and we'll see that we just configured that, and the same for email. There we go. Perfect. So now we're ready to get started. There's a few commands that are always going to come in handy when you're getting started off every step of the way, and just typing them regardless of wherever you are doesn't do any harm. Let's do a clear to get rid of this off the screen. And one of those that we're going to use thoroughly or consistently throughout is actually git status. So right now, again, with no understanding of what Git is, we see this message of we're on the main branch. And if you've ever looked at older videos, you might see branches called master, and Git, along with various other vendors, made the name change a few years or maybe a year ago to remove that word or term master, and so this branch is renamed to the main. Again, we're going to see how that term branch, or really that application, comes into handy, but for now we'll just walk through each of these, and we see that there's no commits yet. We haven't done any commit, so we'll see where that command, I know I'm saying a lot of we'll see it, but we're gonna basically build this baby as we go along, and we have nothing to commit. If we do the command git branch, we actually don't see anything here, so pay attention to that, or keep that one in mind here shortly. So what we want to now do is let's just create a file. So we'll do a echo first file, create it, nothing much here to see, and then we'll basically output that to file1.txt. and so let's just make sure that that actually wrote correctly, and there you can see that's the content of file1. We'll do a ls, just basic, and this is our only unhidden file that we have right now. So again, this command, like we said, we're going to use this a lot, so let's go ahead and type git status again, and we can see that there's a difference now. So now again, we created a empty directory that had nothing in it. We initialized git that basically started tracking any changes in this directory. So we of course just made a change by creating a file. So we see we're still on the main branch, there's no commits yet, but we have untracked files. So again, the very base layer is what we call our working directory. So any files that we're working on, or that have changed, that have created, etc., this is kind of the base layer that they're going to be. And for us to get to all the way to the right, which is basically committing those for a basic commit, and we'll show how the commit and the branch really line up here shortly. Then we need to basically do the command of git add, and we see the file name there. So we'll do git add and file1.txt. There we go. A little bit sluggish. And then this is just a warning, nothing to be alarmed about there. Let's clear. And another git status. And now we see again that we have changes to commit. So right now we just need to commit that change. There's a few different things here. And we'll see again what just git commit does, but for now we'll do it the proper way, which is git commit and then -m for message, and we need to just type a message, and we'll just put create it. We'll name it file1.txt, and then when we do that commit, we see a few pieces of information there. Another git status again shows that we are on the branch main, which we've been. We're not going to create a different branch today, that's for another video. And that we have nothing to commit, and our working tree is clean. So really, to be quite honest, the commit are really a branch. Git is just really pointing to a specific commit on there, and as we do more commits and modify more different things, we'll see how what that really means in proof. So if we were to do a git log right now, we're going to see details about that first commit. This again, this hash value here, we'll explain that a little bit later, but this is unique across, of course, the whole world within the Git sphere. And then our head is pointing to the main branch, which again is where we're going to stay today. And then, of course, we said we created that username way up top, and then that user email. So that's where that comes into play. When you have multiple personnel, developers, or whatever category you want to group them in, when we start getting into the remote repository of GitHub, which isn't today's video, this is where it's key to know who made what changes, especially when there may be conflicts that you have to unfix. But staying on track, again, the date, the specific time down to the second of this commit, and then this is the message that we typed in there. And so if you want to like get rid, well, we'll wait for that. We'll say it. So if you don't want to see like a lot of stuff, just do the flag of one line, and it just shows you a few of the details in one line. So we're back to there, and now again, if we do git branch, because we've done a commit, now we actually see the main. So that's the thing. If you haven't done any commit, then there's certain things that you're not going to see. That the branch, of course, is one of those things there. So now let's go ahead and see what git status is all about. It should be that you're working on a clean tree, etc. And then, of course, we just have the hidden file git, and then, of course, the file1.txt. So let's go ahead and create a second file. Let's do the same, something similar. Let's echo second file. It's all good, and let's call that one appropriately file2.txt. And some of this repetition will get us into the habits of what is going on here. So we're back here to when we created our file one, that this is an untracked file, and then basically we need to do the git add again with the file name, or, which is what we did last time, we could do a git add and then a dot, which every file that's untracked in there is basically going to now be tracked. And so similar to if we would have typed git add and then the file name, we're back to there. Basically now we've moved from the working directory to the stage, or that second bucket, and then the third bucket, the final place where we want to be, is to commit. So really, just to make it simple for you, whether you want to call it a rectangle, a bucket, etc., just think of the working directory where we're working on the files. They're untracked at the moment, and as soon as we add them, we basically move them up into a stage where they're ready to be committed. And then, of course, we do our git commit with the message. Now, earlier we, of course, did the proper way with the -m. So what if we just do git commit? Then we're going to be taking it to our editor, and we're actually going to have to be forced to write a message. So this would be, sorry, let me do -i. We created file2.txt, escape :wq. We'll come back out. And so that's doing our commit, our second commit. Again, we're just getting started here, but if we do a git log again, one line to keep it brevity, like to shorten it, then we see there's our two commits and our head is pointing to the most recent commit. And that's what I mean. As we build this branch and we basically, the branch gets longer or taller, whichever way you want to look at it, then it's really the head is just going to point to whichever commit we're at. And we're on one branch, so it's keeping it easy there. So git status, again, we should now kind of understand that it's similar on that working on a clean tree because we've just done our commit. There's nothing new that's been modified there. So you may be asking, well, what if I don't add anything new if I just modify? So let's again do a ls and let's get into file1.txt, and here let's just go to the end. Let's just put a period there. Probably nothing simple. We didn't add a file, we just put one special character, not special, but a character there. And so now if we do a git status, what do we see here? Similar to if we added a new file or something, it's tracking any change or modification there. So of course now we have to do our git add, and we'll just go back to I won't say best practice, but we won't do the git dot, and there we go, we've added it. So now we know that it's in the stage. Now we gotta basically push it, so you should be getting this by now. And so we'll do a git commit message, and we'll just say modified file1.txt. There we go. And of course our branch should be growing, and we got 3 commits now. That's what we're up to. So one of the last things we'll do to try to bring it home, what if we want to basically, if this hypothetical, say this was not just a simple one-line type notepad or something, and this was actually code, like we were a developer, but we wanted to actually get back to a previous commit, how would we do that? So we got 2 files right now. If we do ls, we see that we have it there, but we want to get back to that first commit where we just had 1 file. Then there's actually a way where we could basically do a git revert, and let's say git revert, let's do a no commit. This is a shortcut so we don't get prompted for different prompts for each of those previous 2 commits. And then this is where that hash comes into handy. We'll basically, I don't know how many characters, I typically do 6 characters, but let's do 1 line. This actually shortens it for us. I think it's 6, but there, we'll just use those first. That's 7. We'll do a git revert, and then what did we say? No commit, and then let's pick the commit we want to go back to. Let's just double click, right click, paste, and then let's do a ... Let's move the head there. And so now we see here that we have reverting. And so let's go ahead and do a git commit and another message. And let's say reverting back to FB 28136. Is that what we got? There. So that's basically taking care of the same standard message that we would see. But let's clear this now. But we want it to go back to when there was 1 file. If we do ls, we're back to having 1 file. But you may be worried about, what if I want to get back to the 2, I'm doing some work, etc., or I didn't mean to do that. No need to worry. Git, of course, like we said, it's a version control system. So if we do git log, then all of our commits are there. We could revert right back. We could do the same thing if we press up, and now let's just do a revert, and let's just change that to, let's see, file 2 is 04A5960. Let's do that, and then this is again shortcut, just pressing the up. We'll do the same for our message, 04A5960, and we won't clear the screen, but if we do ls, we now back to our 2 files. So just lovely things there. But like I said, just thinking about just this, I won't say simple, but just thinking about the concepts of where we're trying to get. We're ultimately trying to get our changes to a commit to get onto the branch. And then of course we go from our working directory when we're ready to now prep for that commit. We then add the file, and then we those are in the staging. Could you do that early on and then continue working? Yes, you could. It's up to you and your flow and what you establish. And then we ultimately, third step, do the commit, and then our branch is clean and we're back to basically tracking any modifications that are there. And I mean, there's one more. We only have one branch like we said, but if we do a git log dash dash, if we do graph, this is again this line over here. If we had multiple branches, you would see where it started kind of curving. Here's an example I'm going to put on the screen here on how that could be useful to kind of visualize once this actually grows. But again, it's easy to practice just on your local machine, virtual, whatever, once you get Git installed, and there's no, you're not going to mess anything up. We just created an empty directory. We did one line type things, but that's just to understand the concepts, to get familiar with the flow, and to kind of see how the pieces fit together. And that's really all we wanted to do in this video here today, and I hope that you actually get it. And if you want to see anything more in detail, we're going to drop a few more videos on the next step, and we'll ultimately get to the full remote repository in GitHub and piece this all together. But I want to thank each and every one of you again out there for rocking in here with me today. And if you got any value, definitely drop a comment down below. Would love to hear from you. But until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Peace.